Hello.
All right.
What's happening?
Feels like I've been here since like 6.
What's happened?
Well, catch the update video, the midweek update video, but we had a small leak.
Oh.
You ever spilled that cup of tea in your living room floor and gone, fuck me, that made a mess?
I did it with red wine.
Yeah. Did it make a mess?
Hell of a mess.
What about 100 litres of waste oil?
What?
So I'm sat here filming YouTube because living a dream, and Mitch is currently scooping up oil.
Hey Mitch.
Living the dream.
So the barrel we keep all our oil in decided to spring a leak in the middle of the night, and we come in and it was just everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Expected to see Greenpeace going by on rubber dinghies.
I'm sure that Exxon Valdez didn't drop this much oil, mate. Honest to God. Never mind. Anyway, get through the intro. Josh's bike is not here, but we'll start putting it back together. So, bike day today. That'll cheer us all up. So we'll see you on the other side.
And we're back.
With a Snap-on mug.
Very subtle.
Snap-on, sponsor us right here. We're back in the bike bit. Mate, it's been a while since we've been down here.
It has been a while.
So, whilst you've been away, Josh cleaned the frame and painted the frame. So just give it a freshen up. I also stripped the swing arm. So I don't know whether you remember, it was black. I've also machined the back edge out. So we've machined that out so we can get the chain, we can get the wheel further back so we can increase the wheelbase. We have got to press the bearings in today, but what we're going to do now is essentially put some foot pegs on. I mean, what a rinser.
Look at that.
Honestly, I'm like, Josh, get me some foot pegs for your frame. He turns up, he's got his name on them. I don't know. Nothing wrong with his head, is there? So we'll put the foot pegs on, so we can put it on a yoke stand and we can put it on foot peg stands. We'll get the front forks in and get the top yoke on. We've got some bolt kits to go on it. So we'll just start chatting crap, mate, putting it back together.
It's what we do best.
It's what we do. Because I keep getting slagged off for taking things apart and never putting it back together. So at least we're moving forwards today.
Yes.
I won't Loctite them in for now. Normally we would Loctite them all in. But what we'll do is we'll just pop the screws in because we support it on the peg stands. Because normally, of course, you'd support it on the swing arm stands.
Uh-huh. Do you prefer working on cars or
Bikes.
bikes?
Bikes.
That was a silly question.
Bikes. It's much easier. So like straight away we put the bolts in, and I don't like how far they protrude, can you see? So I don't like that.
Yeah.
So I'll back them off. I'll probably change them and put smaller screws in. I don't like that they come through the frame. So we're going to lift it up that way, put it on peg stands. I'm going to lift the front up. It's not heavy. Alright, put it stand under. Alright. Right.
Look at that.
This week's video is complete.
Done.
I want to put the forks in next.
And then the forks that are built up at
PCR.
PCR.
Yeah. So this is the one Andy Forbes Buckingham sent us, AFB.
That looks nice.
It is a nice little piece.
Yeah.
So
Belay.
get its bolt sat in right. So then all I can do is I'll snug the top nut down, and then we'll put the forks in. So that just sits down over the top. So the washer's flat and square on the bottom, yeah, and then it's domed and rounded on the top. So make sure you put it the right way.
Yeah.
And then obviously the nut as well. So I'm going to do it like as tight as I can with my hand, because what I don't want is I don't want the top yoke to do this as I'm putting the forks in, because I kind of want to set the fork height.
Sure.
So I've got enough movement there, but there's no movement that way, yeah? And then it feels nice and smooth. So what we'll do now is is I've got 10 mil. I'll just set them on a top line for now. So if you come and have a look, Dad, if you go right on the top, look, can you see I've just put one line through?
Yeah.
So I'll just do one line through for now.
Yep. So we've got a base to work.
Yeah. Right, if I do the other one, you get rid of... I get in trouble for shouting at the missus. Oi!
You're being very polite today.
I know.
Look like a right numpty now.
No, because it's fine. They're Allen keys anyway. You need that. Right, they're 5, so let me get you a 5. That's that one. That's the back engine spacer. So how this works is it screws into the frame. It's got a slot in it. And once you've got it lined up, you then put a special tool down on the slot and turn it and torque it up. So that then takes up the space between the frame and the engine. And that stops you having basically torquing up the frame to the engine and it flexing the frame.
Yeah.
So it just screws in like this. Yeah, and you screw it in as much as it'll go, slide the engine in, and then you torque that back up against the engine then to lock the engine in place. So that's bottom engine bolt. So if you can imagine, that's it is a fixed distance.
Yep.
Or the engine is a fixed distance and then we can adjust then that, which is what essentially we're doing. The front one is slightly different. The front one is a collar with a slot and a coned end.
Okay.
Yeah, so then that sits on the engine, which has got a cone section on the side of the cylinder head. We put a cone washer in, and then obviously when we clamp that up, this expands in this ear hole.
Hang on, let's come round and see your hole.
So if I do that, yeah, so that goes in the hole. The cone pushes one side, the cone on the engine pushes the other side, and then when you clamp it up, wherever that is, that comes out and bites on the frame. So that's how you do the front bolt. What I did remember is I forgot to put the clip-on mounts on.
Oh.
Yep. So let's just do that quick. So we have some nice Renthal ones. They come with rulers on the bars. And then they come, the tops are that way. I think now. That way. So they go like that. So again, just bang everything in loose. That is a 5. Yep. Right. So I need to go off. Shouldn't fall out, but hold it. Like so. Yeah, can you come and hold that fork? Just support that fork like that, please, babe, just so I can twist again.
So, have you got an engine for this now?
Coming?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have one yet. I've got feelers out for an engine and set throttle bodies. So, sorry mate, let me just grab a brush here. So what we've done, which I'll get out in a minute, is we've essentially bought 2022 kit loom, which has a blipper included.
Yeah.
And then Graeme Hardie gave Josh an ECU, got him an ECU. So then what we're going to do then is put a 2022 engine in it. Engine and throttle bodies. So that's the plan. So it's like a hybrid.
Yeah.
It's a 16 or 16 chassis, and then Yeah, and a new engine. Because the reason we went that way was because the money people are charging for second-hand engines out of these is ridiculous. And I said, Josh, I'm not paying £4,000 one lad wanted for a never raced or rallied engine. Yeah, bollocks. I'm not paying £4,000 for an engine. Not for a 20. I'll pay £4,000 for a new engine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm not paying £4,000 for a bloody 2015 motor. Christ, K67 engines, which is what my BMW was, they're not even going for that much. Right, we have got front forks. Kate's just taking the front discs off because we've got new discs to go on, and Race Bolts have sent us these disc bolts. I got new caliper mounting bolts. So HEL haven't sent the calipers down yet, so it's going to be HEL master cylinder, calipers, brake lines, front scooter brake, and I think a rear caliper, but I'm just waiting on it all to arrive. Josh has sorted all that out with them. So Kate will do the front discs, then we'll pop the front wheel in. We've got EBC have sent in.
Very nice.
Yeah. What other goodies we got? We've got to put a shock on, but I want to put the swing arm on next. And to do the swing arm, I've got to do the bearings.
Now that doesn't sound like a good job to me.
No.
Bearings always seem to be a bit of a
Yeah.
challenge.
So, would you like to take a visit to the press, dear boy?
Shall we?
Yeah, let's go and get it set up. So we've come over to the dark side.
We have.
So
Before you start, can I just point out that appears to be another new tool.
it's not a new tool, it's a tool that's always been here.
Really?
It's fine. No. I needed a press. I haven't even shown you the best bit yet.
Go on. Right, let's. Sounds like a machine gun.
Mate. Right. Bearing in, this is a juggle to start with. I'm just going to take out as much. There we go. Now she's good. Now this is what the gas pedal does. Mate, how factory is that?
That's my new favourite machine.
So, same again, just a little bit of just bloody assembly lube or lithium grease or just anything to
Lube her up.
help the bearing go in. Alright, this one's a little bit more fragile. And right, they're both in, I just need to check clearance. As in whether I've pushed them in enough, but you haven't got to stand around and watch me for that bit. So you saw me press the big bearings in. I've also pressed in the two bearings and the two seals for the links underneath. So the link underneath is like that.
Uh-huh.
So I've still got to strip and clean that linkage slightly, so we'll do that in a minute. So I've got the main bearings in. Yeah, this then goes in next, so that's the main axle. So no such thing as too much grease. So you can push it in from either side. Just grease this side up as well. So this is just lithium grease. Over each side, you've got the end seals. I flipped it over, haven't I? So there's one. And there is two. So they're both done. I've also put on his lifter plates. So what I'm going to do in a minute is I'm going to get the swing arm, the rear arm over, the rear paddock stand over. I'm going to balance the swing arm on a rear paddock stand and I'm going to sit it in.
Lovely.
But don't forget this bit, because you can't put it on after. So that's just a chain guide. So a little trim clip here, like so. I can't push it right. And then a little collar and a little screw. just in there. The screw's hanging, so I'll change that. Got another screw. All right, so let me just move. What I'm going to do now is juggle with my strong hand, child. All right, so and prime yourself for insertion. No? Not digging it this week?
No, it's all good.
I had a lot of comments about the KY jelly joke last week. That was kind of funny. I think we're starting to cook with gas, Dav.
It's coming together.
So, there's some settings. So basically, you've got to screw the swing arm in and to a torque, yeah? Then, because it's screwing into the frame this side, so you screw the swing arm into a torque to take that play out. Yeah, this side to side.
Yep.
Right? So you screw it in to a torque. That takes the play out of the swing arm. Then you hold this, because it's got an internal Allen key, you hold this and you tighten it with a main swing arm nut and washer. Yeah? So this will keep turning in, turning in, turning in. Just going slowly. It's just taking forever. Right? Once you've then done the main nut up, then you come back around this side with a special C spanner and you tighten that up, so that's the lock spanner. So there's 3 torque settings on a swing arm that you have got to get. But at the minute, I've got a greasy hand and I'm not getting anywhere. So let me go and get the tool to do that up, because I want to take the free play out.
Yeah.
Let me get a tool to do that out, and then we'll get it half handy. So I've got a little, it's an old front wheel spindle adapter, fits right in. Just wobble your bobble.
Wobble your bobble, I was just about to say that. That's a very different video.
Yeah, probably make more money. There we go, so that's in now, look. So I've taken the free play out of the swing arm, you see?
Yep.
So we've still got movement, should be lovely and smooth. Yeah, so now that'll be to a torque, we'll set that. Then we come round this side. Again, flat side, dome side, or the dressing side. Put your washer on, torque that up. That's then the nut and the bolt torqued, and then we go back around the other side and we put the washer on and then put our lock nut in, like so. So don't forget the little collar. There's a little collar that goes in the end here, right? So then obviously your bolt goes through, and again, same kind of thing. It pinches up on the shock, so you just got to make sure you don't forget it. It's a bloody great old if you do. So going back to what Paul's guys built, well, they didn't build this bit, but this is the K-Tech shock we got from Paul. Kickers,
Just got a day.
right, so shock in, yeah,
Shocking.
new shiny bolt. Now I always put the bolts in from the same way. It's how you should do it. It's not like it's a miraculous discovery, but it means if you go to take a shock out, so like on mine, I machined a new spacer for this so that it fitted in the frame and I didn't have a nut.
Okay.
It was like captive.
You're very particular about things like that.
Yeah, because it's like when you're on your own and you're trying to put a bloody shock in. Right, so 1, 2, 3. Like so. Nut in. Oh, I've pushed that collar out again, Dab, honestly. New shiny nuts and bolts. I've got to rebuild the rear linkage.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's how that bit looks. So don't get too carried away with putting everything in definitely tight, you know, Loctited, that sort of thing. Because when you're making things fit or building a race bike, you know, I'll probably get halfway through it and go, oh bloody hell, I've got to take swing arm off for whatever reason. So at the minute now, we're doing like what we'd call on Engine World, like a dry build. So we build it all up, make sure we got everything's clean, all good, and then we can go behind afterwards and talk everything up. But that's where mistakes come, because people think, oh, if it's on, it's tight. So you've just got to be quite disciplined in what you've done. So Kate's put all the discs, bolts in the front wheels. So we have got a new set of captive spacers, front wheel set and rear wheel set. So these replace the rubbish plastic ones, or the rubbish metal ones that come on the bike. And the reason we start using these, Superbike rear wheel, Superbike spacer, yeah, so push inside the seals, and then as you go to sit the wheel in, if you can imagine, they're the two front ones, yeah, when your wheel's slightly offset, you snag and like knock them out. Whereas these, as you go to push them in, look, you've obviously got that edge to ramp up on. So that is the difference.
Neat solution.
It is. So all you got to do, easy peasy, is push them inside the bloody seals, like so. So these are mint. 1, 2. We've got slicks to go on it, but at the minute, like I said, all I'm doing at the minute is making sure everything we've got fits. So that's 2 captive spacers in, the traction wheel, make sure you put the traction wheel in the right side, because I did that the other week on my bike. I was rushing, I put the bloody wheel in the wrong way, right? So that's in. I have got front wheel spacer, and then we literally lift it up. Whee! Did you hear that?
Go on.
Did I need help finding the hole? Oh, she's not getting invited on any more videos. So literally in like that. And then you put your nut on.
It's
Brake lines.
starting to look a bit more bike-like.
I'm going to get Kate to swap over the rear brake disc, and then we get a rear wheel in. And we can put the rear captive spacers on the back then. Oh, that's tight. So Kate's put the other disc on. She's got a brand new disc on, new race bolts. I put my captive spacer, which is the behind the sprocket carrier. So we're going to put cush drivers on. We've got new chain and sprockets coming, but there's no point me. I'll rebuild the sprocket carrier when I do, because I've got new nuts to go on it and everything, but at least we can put that on. Captive spacer, look. Pressed in already.
Lovely.
Captive spacer on the other side. And then just like chain lube. Alright, and then we're literally gonna slide her in the hole, dear boy. So I just went to put it in, and I was like, that's a bit sloppy in the hole. What's wrong there? Caliper carrier. So we'll just sit the wheel in for now, because obviously we've got... Oh, bloody hell, this is awkward. Who put the stand back here? Like so, and then this side, if you come here, Dav, so that, it runs tight here, yeah, like that. So that's how it should run, right? And then on that side, you'll see I've got a big gap.
Yep.
And in that gap there, so that is what should be sat there. So it's obviously the carrier for the rear wheel speed sensor, the caliper, the slider sits in the back of the swing arm there, and then the caliper sits over the top. So, but I can't put that on, look at the state of it. So we'll strip that down, get it cleaned, get all the old ABS brake lines off it, look, and then I can hang it back on then. Mate, I think
good progress.
that is about as far as we'll get today. I've got a strip and clean the rear linkage. So shock is junk. I need the triple clamp, sorry, the triple linkage, triple mount, and I need the arms, so they need cleaning. I have got the big centre bearing, and I have got the 2 bearings that go in here, and I've got the 4 seals. I've got the 2 small bolts, and I've got the big bolt that goes through the bottom as well. So yeah, got quite a bit, mate.
Lovely job.
So linkage on, and that's done. We're waiting for the calipers, then I can run brake lines, and the last bit to go on be the engine. Like if you come down here, Dan, like there's the, so that's new kit loom, GYTR kit loom. Yeah, so that's here ready to go on. We've got the grips, I've got a spare rear disc. That's the clock mount, but I think we're going to get a motor holders one. We've got all the engine mount cover, all the engine case covers, ECU. What is in that one? Oh, lever guard to go on the end of the handlebar, and then. Sorry, mate.
And then
GYTR quick action throttle. So 2015 comes with cables, and this is now going to be electronic throttle. So it comes with blipper as standard. You don't want to know how much that bit was. Avio rain light. Graeme kindly donated his old buttons, but I don't think they'll work because they're for a road loom, not a kit loom. So a kit loom's got the control for rain light switch and pit limiter. So we'll have to get some buttons. So I need both power switches off BSD. I've got grips, clock holder and intake. Yeah, we're not, a few little bits, mate. I don't think it's much. I think he's...
exhaust.
Exhaust is, the Pipeworks can is there. So that's the extra long can as well. So we'll keep, we've got the headers, and then we'll get rid of this bit. That'll go. So we'll keep the headers. I think we're about there, mate. Cool. I think we're about there. I've got a set of slicks, like just a set of scrub slicks. And then, yeah, just last little bits to turn up now. So that's pretty much where we are with all the goodies.
So I think we've fully caught up with this.
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think so. It's been sat around for a while, but we were waiting for bits to turn up, or like Josh painted the frame. The swing arm took a little while, so we didn't really get that back till the new year. And then he's rubbed it down and lacquered it. But man, I think it looks pretty trick, doesn't it?
Good stuff. Yeah. So, considering, I don't know, I'll drop a little bit of it in, or a picture of how it was when it first arrived and the state it was in, just so you can appreciate how much it's...
It was a bit of a state, but we get sorted. We get sorted. We got rid of loads of stuff, loads of crap, bits of bolts everywhere. So yeah, it'll be a shiny penny when she's done.
Lovely job.
So all good. Thanks for watching. Smash the buttons and let us know what you think. Obviously, last couple of weeks it's been all engine, so to jump to the bikes, it's not going to be everybody's bag, but hopefully you enjoyed it. So we'll see you in a bit.
See you in the next one.
Never mind. Anyway, get through the intro. Josh's bike is not here, but we'll start putting it back together. So bike day today, that'll cheer us all up. So we'll see you on the other side.